Hey guys, Jessica here for Chapter 18 today of Sarah Harnish's book Game Plan. I'm going to do a quick recap of Young Living strategy on where to sign up new oilers and how to structure. So Sarah says number one thing that you need to be thinking about is always thinking ahead as far as building your legs. We know you have to have 7 legs total to get to Royal Crown Diamond. So as an executive, which is your first kind of big rank, you need 2 legs. Silver, you're going to utilize those same 2 legs. You just increase OGV. On gold, you need 3 legs. Platinum, 4, so on and so forth. So if you set out and you're teaching and you're growing, but you're not building leaders and builders, you are going to have a lot of OGV, but you're not going to have legs to stand on. So, for instance, I have had trouble keeping gold. And it's because my OGV has never been anywhere near under what I have to have for it. In fact, it's been well above, well over. As a matter of fact, my OGV growth is looking good for platinum. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer and closer every month. But I simply don't have a 3rd leg with enough strength to maintain me. And so I hit it some months I don't. I've got a fabulous leader in that leg, is building and growing, and I have no doubt that will be a power leg soon. So I'm not worried about it. But if I would have done a little more leg work in the beginning to really focus on, building a backup leg, because I really, I don't have my platinum leg either. So I'm going to be in the same boat. I'm going to work on that, I am working that, but it's something that you really need to be seriously, strategically planning, giving your expectations to your leaders. I think it's perfectly acceptable to sit down with someone and say, listen, you're one of my platinum legs. I need you at X amount by this time, and I'm going to help you get there, and here's how we're going to plan to do that. And of course, plans can always change, but I think it's perfectly acceptable to rank plan with your leaders, because guess what? In doing so, when I get that 4th platinum leg, chances are that person's going to be silver or close to it. And so it will be as good for them as it will for me. And that's the blessing of building a Young Living business, is that you get to watch others promote and rank as well. And I love that that's how Mary has so intricately structured our compensation plan, that we are really truly rewarded for helping others, which is a reward in itself. I love watching my team rank up. That's the most fun thing about this, is seeing a team member achieve rank. So, okay, so Sarah says, focus on those legs. Always be thinking ahead, at least 2 legs. Number 2, she says, teach with a proper ratio. So especially before you hit silver, for every specialty class you teach, so for every make and take, for every beauty class, makeup class, whatever it is, NYXIA Red class, you need to be teaching 3 one-on-ones, because that's where you get your new signups, and that's where you get potential business builders and really start to grow the foundation of your team. So this is something that I struggled with in the beginning, because I saw other people teaching these beyond the basic classes. So I thought I needed to do it too. But even now, I'm looking at really getting back to the basics and teaching those one-on-one classes, because I simply haven't seen the growth without them. Another thing she mentions in here, and I do just want to go over it, because I see so many people doing the make and takes now. Make and takes are super fun. Super fun. People love them. It is a great way to love on your team. It's a great way to educate your team. It's a good way to try and get team members on essential rewards and learning more about their oils and using their oils. What it is not going to do for you, most likely, is build a business builder. The majority of the time, the people that come to make and takes, they're just coming for a little fun night. They want some cool stuff to take home. And even if they order the oils to make the make and take, they're probably not ever going to make it again. So you may not even see reorders out of it. But it is a good way to kind of build community within your team. It is a good way to get people together and talking about the many different ways they can use the products and kind of shift over into essential rewards. Other than that, I do not suggest, and neither does Sarah, I do not suggest make and takes for serious growth. You need to stick with those one-on-one classes. The other thing about make and takes that I've always kind of been on the fence about, and I've done make and takes, I'm not criticizing anybody for doing them. There's a time and a place, and they're phenomenal when you do them correctly. But the other thing about make and takes is we have amazing products, personal care products, cleaners, facial line, all kind of different things, makeup. And so if we're constantly teaching people to make their own stuff, yes, we're teaching them how to use their oils, but there's kind of a fine line there to walk. You want them investing in our other products, and I'm not saying that this is all about making money, and I'm not trying to sound crude when I say that, but oftentimes I personally have realized that even when a make and take seems cheaper, even when it seems cheaper to make it myself, sometimes it is, and I'm 100% happy sharing those recipes with people. But a lot of times when you consider how much you have to buy to get started, because it's usually bulk stuff, when you consider how long it takes you to make those items, and when you consider how much of that homemade item you have to use versus how little of Young Living's pure and concentrated products you have to use, it's usually like really you're better off financially to buy the product from Young Living. And so that's what I've realized personally for myself, trying to save money, that I've actually come out better in the long run buying our personal care products, our lotion, our soap, our shampoo, our face wash, things like that. So just be careful with the make takes, but they can be super fun. But I did just want to throw that kind of word of caution in there. Number 3, Sarah says, go wide before you go deep. That means that when you are starting out especially, but even later in your Young Living career, sorry, my light is kind of weird, so I'm trying to shift a little bit. When you're first starting out especially, though, you're teaching classes and you're signing people up on your first level. Grow your team where your first level is wide. Then start working with those leaders, potential leaders, hosting classes, and start building deep. I'm not saying to put someone off that wants to have a class. If you have somebody come to you and they say, I want to teach a class, and you're like, nope, I'm growing wide right now. No, by all means, you guys know, go ahead and teach the class. And you can start growing deep as well. But I focus more in the beginning on growing deep, on stacking people, building legs. And what that has done for me is give me some shaky legs to stand on, because I wasn't investing time in building leaders. I was investing time in building a person who wasn't 100% ready to be a builder, a team. And in turn, it is a team that I take care of like they're my own. When I do mail outs, I mail out in that leg. When I travel and teach classes, I'm teaching a lot of times in that leg. So there's nothing wrong with strategic placement as far as, really working in a leg, working with your builders, new or old, to really grow, to help them teach, to give them a plan, to get them new signups. But as far as just pulling people and saying, oh, I'm going to throw you here this month because I need an extra $100 in this leg and it's going to promote me. Well, guess what? It's not going to promote you for long. You need to be focusing on building builders, not building legs. Let your builders build their own legs. Help them, support them any way you can, but don't do it for them because it will not be a lasting leg for you. And I speak from 100% experience. So, it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea at all. Okay, so let's see. The other thing about building wide, Sarah breaks down a paycheck in here. The starter kit bonuses, they go to you. The 5-star bonuses, they go to you. The unilevel goes to you, your first level. The generation bonuses, everything is going to be greater when someone is on your first level. So am I saying to only ever build your first level and never help anybody grow? Again, no. But there's a huge difference in your beginning paycheck. And when you first get started, you need those starter kit bonuses to help you pour back into your business and to really start growing. So it's so beneficial. So beneficial. If you're teaching, you're signing up. I recommend if you're teaching for someone, if someone hosts a class in their home and they're interested in building, by all means, they get the sign-ups. But and I've never been a fan of the whole I'll be the enroller, you be the sponsor thing. I've done it a couple times in really specific situations. One of them is that my mom, who again wasn't real interested in building, but I was determined to build her a team. Should have put them underneath me, but I flew out to San Antonio to teach a class for a lady that I had put underneath my mom. And the lady did not want the sign-ups, but I had 5 great sign-ups from the class. So I was the sponsor to pay for the enroller, excuse me. I was the enroller. Remember, the E comes first. I was the enroller to pay for the trip to help me do that with those 5-star bonuses and things. And then I put my mom as the sponsor. And my mom knows I would tell her to her face, and I have. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken those and been the sponsor and enroller. I have ended up taking care of those people as if they were my own. And it's just flat out because my mom really wasn't interested in building a business. I was interested in building her one. So just not a good idea. But there have been a few times, like I said, that I have done that. Have I ever really benefited from it? No, not really. So I don't love that method of building either. If you teach for someone that you think is going to be a potential business builder for you, you give them the sponsor and the enroller, because that check is going to be incentive for them to continue to build, continue to learn, continue to grow, take care of their people, pour into them, and grow them as well. And it's going to teach them to do the same thing and be compassionate with their people and say, you know what, I'm teaching for you, but you get the sponsor and enroller. And it's going to, in turn, motivate those people to keep building. So in the long run, I think you're always better to do it that way. You're going to get different advice from different people, different leaders, different people in our upline. You certainly can pray about it and choose the best route for you. That has been the best route for me. Okay, so let's see. She also just talks about growing your team and just knowing, again, being confident in sharing that you're with an MLM, being confident enough to look at your friends and go, are you just happy doing what you're doing? Do you want to work 24/7 for the rest of your life? Are you content in your job and just loving them enough to reach out to them, and just always having your eyes open about who to reach? Always having your eyes open at the gym, at the daycare where you drop your kids off, at church, keeping your circles in mind constantly, and being unafraid to share Young Living and doing it just out of a place of love and care for these people, because you want them to experience not only the wellness that Young Living has to offer, but the abundance as well. Okay, so, and by the way, I did not mention earlier, but when I said when you first start up until Silver, Sarah says to teach 3 101s to every non-101 to every 201 or whatever you want to call it, beyond the basics class. So 3 to 1. When you get Silver and above, you need to be teaching 3 team trainings to every 1 101. So that kind of flips a little bit, but you still need to be teaching those 101s, but you really need to be pouring into your team at that point, really equipping them to become leaders as well. So, okay. And then she just says one last thing in here, and I'm sorry, guys, this video is running a little long, but she had some great information in this chapter. A word on upline support. She says, you know what? My upline did not come alongside me and write this book for me. They did not compile this information. She did it herself. You may have an upline who is not great support. There have been times that I have probably not been great support. I've certainly tried my hardest, but I know that there are different personalities and different people, and sometimes people just don't work as good together. And I hope that everyone on my team feels that I'm a resource for them, and that certainly if they need help, that they can come to me. And I know that I have fantastic leaders underneath me who have fostered just amazing relationships with their teams. And I know that their people feel like that they can go to them if they need help or need support. But just bottom line, you may not even have a good relationship with your upline. But Sarah says, God created us to bloom where we are planted. And it is our job to make this work. One area that I do struggle with is rank gifts. I don't know why. I love to give gifts. It's one of my favorite things to do. And if it's just something real random, and I would do it in a heartbeat. But for some reason, I have never, probably because of my lack of organizational skills, I've never really been great at remembering and being very consistent with rank gifts. It's something that I'm really trying to put a plan into place for. Because I certainly want to love on people. But at the same time, I hope that there's not anybody on my team going, well, Jessica didn't send me a rank gift for hitting executive, so I don't even care to build this business anymore. Because your business is not on my back. I mean, I want you to succeed, and it does help me when you succeed, but not as much as it helps you and benefits you. And so, and the same goes for my upline, and the same goes for your other uplines in between you and I. Don't use lack of support as an excuse for you not building or for your business not succeeding, because this really it's a team sport, but at the same time, it's kind of every man for himself. So you have to figure out what works for you, and certainly take the support and advice that you can get. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't take the road less traveled. There's so many good resources out there, not even from necessarily your uplines, but from Crossline and so many more, like Sarah. Sarah's not an upline, but she's certainly a mentor. So anyway, use what you have, but just remember that this is your business to build, and you have to decide whether or not you want to make it work and roll up your sleeves and do the work or not. So thank you guys for watching today. I'm sorry it went a little long. Tomorrow we'll be back for chapter 19. I cannot believe how close we are to being finished with Game Plan. Of course, we're never finished. As Sarah says so many times in her book, we're going to rinse and repeat and keep doing this again and again and again to build our business. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.